evening, everyone, and welcome to the 7th edition of Sip and Read. We are super excited to have you tonight. As you can see, my co-host is not in the building.
There's still no sound.
But there is no sound, doesn't matter, so have a good day.
To anyone who can hear me, you are absolutely a phenomenal person.
Absolutely. So now you're sipping.
Not
They're gonna
enough.
be very cool.
Not enough hair on my chest. Words that are coming out of my mouth, but just not heard. I must say, I would like to applaud you, because you can hear me. So that's awesome. I want you to give yourself a round of applause. Definitely. So,
All right, so let's welcome everyone to the 7th edition of Sip and Read. As you can see, my regular co-host, Dr. Lucida, is not in the building tonight, but we do have a wonderful co-host. His name is, what's your name?
Luap.
Luap.
Luap Abraham. Yes,
Yes.
that's me.
And he's a wonderful author.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Yes, I'm an author, and that's actually how I met Dr. Betty. We met on a platform, and we just automatically clicked together. We started doing things, encouraging each other to write more. We were actually showing each other how cool it was to read, because
We believe it's cool to read.
yes, oh my God, especially after you sip and read, it becomes cool to read.
Super cool,
Yes.
right? Absolutely, absolutely.
Not only should you join us, but you should try it as well.
Absolutely. Get your glass, share the live, tell a friend, tell another friend to join Sip and Read tonight. This month is special, Luap. We have a double, it's like it's a decabase, double celebration. This month we do have the Black History Month. That's the month that they kind of make the black feel special. And we have the month of love.
Ooh.
Although I believe that love should be every day,
Should be every day.
because our heart beats every day. And every heartbeat, it's a beat of
Love.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Can you feel it right now? Like with every beat of the heart, it's like do more love. Do more love.
absolutely.
Yes.
That's why I believe that love should be something we think about every single day, because it's not just one day a year that we talk about love. Every day we might see someone that we love. We might think of someone that we love. That's why love is something that we should appreciate and celebrate every single day. So this evening we have two authors that we are going to sip and read through their books. The first one will be Luap, of course, and he will tell us about love just a few minutes. And we have a second guest. He will be a virtual author guest. He will be on Zoom. That's Mr. Hervé Fanini-Lemoine. He will talk about the Black History portion part of the show tonight. He will go over cultural identity more in depth. But for the first part, we're going to talk about love. Love is first. Love is love. So, Luap, tell us, what do you think about love? And then I know you write a few poems and books about that subject. Can you kind of tell us, what do you think about love in general, and then why you think it's so special to have a whole book or poem about love?
Well, love is actually a lot of things, but love is actually motion. Love is a verb. It's a verb for a reason, because you put love into motion. The more things, the more ways you can show someone that you love them, the more they just feel so good. And when you vibrating at a frequency of love, which is one of the highest frequencies on the planet, you just feel like you're on top of the world. You feel like you could do anything. And just to hear the word love being said to you on a constant basis, it just really changes you. It makes you more in love.
Absolutely. I can attest to that, because love is something special, something that when you experience the genuine love,
Right.
you feel you special. You are a special person,
Yes,
and you
yes.
should do the same to share and give it to the one that you love, the one
Yes.
who are near you, especially. So you have a poem that you wrote on love. So why did you write this poem? So what inspired you to write about it?
Well, love, actually. I mean, love comes in a lot of different forms. It can be just watching the birds, in love. I used to have a lot of animals, but watching elderly hold hands together while walking down the street. Valentine's Day just passed, so just watching everybody get together to celebrate, Valentine's Day, Love Day. So there's a lot of inspiration, if you really look around, for you to put something together, like a poem of love, a book of love, or a romantic movie, or even an R&B song, a love song, or whatever the case may be. It's just how you can see it around you.
That's true. But Laura, before you go into the piece that you prepare for us tonight, tell us about you. Who are you? I'm going to Haitien, Valenti Creole.
Oh, moi-même.
I know you. So tell the audience who you are. Tell us something about you, just so we know who we are, having with us tonight.
Well, of course, my name is Luap. My name wasn't always Luap. When I was growing up, my name was Paul. My government name was Paul. But being under the wrong influences growing up and stuff like that, as I turned into a more positive, healthy role model to myself and to others, I needed something that resonated with the new person that I was becoming. So I changed my name from Paul backwards to Lou App, and that is the new me that you see before you at this moment.
Awesome. I've heard that story like maybe 10 years ago
Yeah.
when you were telling me that story. So now, Luap, tell us how do you speak Creole? Where did you learn to speak Creole?
Well, of course, my background is Haitian, but unfortunately, I didn't really learn the majority of my Creole from that. When I moved to Miami from New York, I realized there was a lot of Haitians around me, and I thought it was so cool that they were speaking another language that I didn't understand fully. So little by little, I was like, yo, what did you say? How do you say that? Qui j'en peux dire ça? And then little by little, I started picking it up. So now here I am today with the little bit of Creole that I do know. So
Absolutely. Now, and I must say that's how I met Luap when we went to that platform, and I didn't expect to see any Haitian there. It was fully like other people, and I was talking over the phone. You
she was
overheard
talking
me.
on the phone in Creole, and I was just listening like, let's see if she's going to talk about me.
And then you said something in Creole, and I was like, what?
Like-
What?
Ou fini sous ligne là déjà?
And that's how we connected since then.
Yeah.
So I was shocked to see someone in the audience
Right.
speaking Creole to me. So that's amazing
Yes.
that you were not afraid or ashamed to speak Creole.
No.
It was something that really, stayed with me until today. So thank you so much for being who you are. So now we're going to dive in your poem. So you
Okay,
have
okay.
something special
Yeah.
that you wrote, you want to share with us tonight. So is it one or two?
It's just one. It's
It's
just
just
one.
one?
Yes.
What's the title?
2 pages. I hope you all like it. It's called The Alchemy of Us.
What does that mean?
Well,
Let's sip to that one because it's sip and read,
yeah.
right?
Oh my gosh. First, cheers.
Cheers,
Yes.
yeah.
Take
yeah.
a sip, everyone. Even if you don't have some wine, just sip on some water, whatever you have. But yes, it's sip and read.
Absolutely. So let's sip through your lines. Let's see what you have for us.
Okay. Love is not a quiet flame. It is the wildfire that dares the night. The spark that turns the ordinary into gold, the breath that makes the stars feel close enough to hold. You and I are not just two hearts beating, but a symphony of galaxies colliding. Creating light where there was none, writing sonnets in the language of the sun. Let us be brave, not just kisses, but the way we choose to see each other, not the mirrors, but the window, opening the world we've yet to discover. Love is the courage to be soft, to let your edges blur and blend, to trust that in the melting you will not lose yourself, but find a deeper end. So let us love like the ocean loves the shore, relentless, patient, and unafraid to roar. Let us be the kind of love that does not just exist, but the kind that rebuilds, restores, insists. For love is not a destination, but the journey of becoming. It is the art of holding hands while setting each other's souls humming. This Valentine's Day, let us not just celebrate love, but become it. Raw, unbridled, and true. Let us be the kind of love that makes the universe jealous of what two hearts can do.
Woohoo! Wow, I was clapping that. Yes, wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Hey, I was inspired by love.
I can tell. And I think if you want to share any questions, thought for the author, Luap, you can use the chat and draw your comments. Let us know what you think about the poem itself. But I have a question for you.
Surely.
You said towards the end that we must become love. What do you mean by that?
Well, for example, myself, I did not really fully know what love meant. I actually learned love from different sources throughout my life because, you think you know love until you actually really feel love. So when I thought I knew love, if somebody would have told me, what do you know about love, I would have just said, what I thought I knew. Love is just telling somebody you love them like your mother, your father, something like that. But as time goes by, you start to really feel it and understand it if it's presented to you in that way.
That is so true. But what advice will you give to the audience, people who are watching you right now, or later on, about love? What they can do every day to show love to maybe their family, their coworkers, and anybody that can be around them?
One of the first things is forgiveness. Because when you forgive somebody, you let things go. It lets you go, and then you can open up to something different called love. For example, a lot of people get into a relationship, and then they break out of the relationship, and they say, oh, I never want to do that again. I'm done. But guess what? You needed that love lesson for you to get to the next lesson. Like all the women that I've been in love with in the past helped me to be able to love and appreciate the woman of today that I'm with. So I thank them, and I thank goodness I was open-minded enough to not block off love from past situations that maybe I didn't like at the time of breakup to take me into something new.
That is deep. So now, Luab, do you think that someone can truly or fully experience love without loving themselves first? So do you think of self-love? What do you think of that? Do you think it's important, or what we should think of that? Should we prioritize self-love?
Absolutely, because the number one question I like to say to people is, how can I love you more than you love yourself? You know what I mean? Like if you only, like on a scale of 1 to 10, if you only love yourself like a scale of 4, 5, how can I love you more than that? That's all the love that you have and So the more you grow, the more you experience love, the more you open up to, the essence and the channel of love. So like that, you have more that somebody else can pour into you, and you can pour more into them.
So true. Mm-hmm. Do you think love is equal to perfection? Like when you love someone is perfect and you won't have any problems? Is love?
No, to me, I think that's something like two different things, because just me loving you, it doesn't interfere with anything else that we have going on. Like, let's say you want to go to the movies, but I want to go to the club. Does that mean I love you any less? No, it just means that we just disagree on that thing. So I think sometimes people, cloud the vision of what love actually is. It doesn't mean because you're different, you have things that you want to do that's different than what I want to do. That doesn't mean that, I shouldn't love you any less. I fell in love with you for a reason. And so if you continue to grow and show me that love, I'm going to continue to love you,
God, it makes sense. makes sense. So now, if you have any question for Luap, like I said, document it in your in the chat. We'll be reading those questions for you shortly, and also share the live and ask everyone to really come and experience that love in the air and sip and read tonight.
Ooh.
So Luap, tell us more about love. Do you think that love is it easy to love?
It's easy to fall in love in certain situations because you might meet somebody that has something that you've never experienced and you say, wow, I love that about that person. And you say, you know, I really love that. So you love a part of that person. Do you love that person on like a 10 automatically? Maybe not, but the love starts to grow. You know, it starts from like a 1 or 2 or a 3, then it continues to grow up till you get to 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you say, oh my gosh, I can't live without this person, you know? So, but love is awesome. It's great when you really, really give it a chance. You know, you just open up and take the risk with love. If it doesn't work, you can always take what you learned from that relationship again and apply it to the new.
How many types of love you think there are out there?
Whew. Can I Google that? No, well, how many different types of love there are? Wow, that is a fantastic question. Can I ask you that question? It's hard to say because, you know, you got love for your family. You have love, like the love that you might have for your mother might be different for the love that you have for your father. Like, for example, my children love to ask me, Daddy, do you love me more than you love my daughter, for example. She says, Daddy, do you love me or you love my son more? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's different love. I can't love you more than I love him because it's different. I don't really know exactly how to say who I love more, but there's just an infinite amount of love because the more things that you're introduced to, the more things that you can say, I have a high appreciation for it, and now I actually love it, you know? So maybe the answer would be infinite things that you can love depending on your mindset and how much you read and learn about different things. And then you can love more things. Like, you know, I love to read. You know, reading is cool.
And it's cool to read. That's the type of love, right?
Yeah.
So definitely. So now, Luap, one last question for you.
Sure.
So if someone is interested in getting a copy of this text you just read for us, where can we find it?
Wow. Well, I mean, can you see that right there? No. Well, okay. Qui ça me cap fait, me cap bauli, et puis ou cap send it to them? How do you say that in Creole? Send it to them.
Yeah, I can send it to them. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, once I put it together, I didn't think to put it anywhere else, you know, at the moment. But if you're really interested in it, I'm flattered, and I would love to share it with you. Maybe it can inspire you and move you in some kind of way that you could tell me about in the future, and I would love that.
But one thing I want to quickly address, Lo, I know it's not really part of the text that you have, but you have a book that I really like about the Kale Year. And this is the guy behind the whole Kale movement. That's how, you know, I knew you were very famous and known for that in Atlanta specifically. So that was a form of self-love. Tell us a little bit about that book and then why you wrote that book about Kale and the whole magic that you kind of like, you know, showcase behind the Kale magic, the Kale love.
Wow. So the Kale thing was the Kale year, you know. So what I did, actually, it was speeches. I had did a series of speeches that revolved around being more healthy, and since Kale was very catchy, we used the Kale year concept to reach more people and to get them to understand and remember the nuggets that we gave them from the speech to help them to be better versions of themselves, starting with health. Now, I do have a book entitled How to Stay Youthful at Any Age, which covers a variety of things that you can do to stay more youthful, to have more energy, to lose more waste, to have a more clearer mindset, to be more compassionate to those around you, and of course, going with the theme of the evening, to love more. Like, look at children. Children are extremely youthful, and they just love freely. They love. So I never thought about it, but I feel like the concept of being more youthful, like the title of the book, actually invokes and provokes more love.
That is so true. And that's a copy they should get. Everyone who is watching the show right now, get a copy of this book. And also, I Have a Dream. That's a wonderful book that I've read. One of the books that
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I Have a Dream is wonderful, and it's Black History Month.
Yeah.
Tell us about this book. What did you write? I Have a Dream.
So the title of the book is I Have a Dream and So Do You. Basically encouraging people to dream, not only to dream, but to have a goal that you have in mind and accomplish the goal. Yes, the book was dedicated to Martin. It was inspired by Martin Luther King, but dedicated to the youth of today. Because I feel like a lot of youth today don't really have goals and dreams outside of what they see in their everyday environment, which might be basketball or rapping or one of those everyday concepts. Like, but what about like things like tennis or golf or doing public speaking or doing something that impacts others in a positive and inspiring, encouraging type of way? That's what I like to try to encourage other people to look forward to, but also at most to help them to have a goal, have a dream, and follow it. Act like nothing can stop you from accomplishing your goal and go for it.
That's right. So if you need a copy of any of these books, please contact us or go on Amazon. They are both available.
They are both on Amazon, titled I Have a Dream, and the other one is entitled How to Stay Youthful at Any Age, and both of them are under my name, Luap Abraham.
And they can follow you where? If they want to contact you for speaking engagement, where can they find you?
Right now, I just moved back into the country, so I was living out of the country for a little while, and now that I'm back, I'm just getting things back started. But if you really want to find me on social media platforms, you can find me on Facebook. Again, my name is Luap Abraham, or on YouTube, but that's under Traveling Gems with a Gems. A whole bunch of videos about traveling and why you should travel as well.
Which is a form of self-love.
Oh my gosh.
But
And the thing is, the more you travel, the more people you meet, and you fall in love with things, with different cultures, different foods. You know, there's just so many things out there that for you to fall in love with. Embrace traveling.
that's so true. But now we're going to take a quick break and bring the other guest,
Okay.
who is virtual, is going to dive in identity as a Black for Black History Month. So let's take a quick break and we will come right back with our other guest. Et voilà, we are back with the second part of Sip and Read. Nous allons parler de identité culturelle parce que c'est mois Black History Month et nous voulons prendre l'opportunité pour nous welcome un grand auteur, un grand homme du nom de Monsieur Hervé Fanini-Lemoine. Monsieur Hervé, bonsoir and welcome to Sip and Read.
Bonsoir à tous et bonsoir to the young gentleman. I just forgot the name, but bonsoir Ebiti, bonsoir Lucida. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We are honored to have you, Hervé. We are
Yes,
so
yes.
happy. to
Oh,
have
thank you. My
joining us.
pleasure.
Yes. And we want to dive in real quick in the in one of your books. I know it's Face à Face, And we want to have your opinion, the conversation really about the whole identity, cultural identity that we see going on and we all confused about. So, dis-nous Hervé, comme si pour nous commencer, parce que ce mois, il y a le Black History Month. Dis-nous d'abord, parce que moi-même, je confuse. Parce que des fois, you référé à nous, they refer to us as black. Some space you might see Haitian American. Other parts you might see African American. Or you might see black. Is there a difference? Let's see if I'm applying for something or I'm filling out an application or something and it has black, African American, Asian American. Which one am I choosing? Can you expand on that?
Very good question. And then it's all, boiled down to politics. And I remember, growing up in the States, I was, maybe in my early 20s. And then people used to call, those, well, back before that, right off maybe the 60s, black people in the US were called Negroes. They were Negroes. That's, And then out of the Negro came, another word that was used, to down us, And then we used to call, in the Afro time, I remember when I used to have an Afro, it's all about, African culture. It was Afro, everybody has big, and you have a lot of hair. And then we were Black American, and then we became, Afro. And then, for political reason with the Jesse Jackson and those people, suddenly there was a tie to African culture. So Black people in America became African American. But again, it's all politics because it doesn't matter you white or black, we're all African anyway. So, but the thing is, for different cultures and different, subcultures within the African diaspora, where do we stand? Now, as people said, in many sources, in many literature, that if you can divide people, you can exert better control. So, the white people that, let's say, those who actually control everything, they found something that was very interesting in the early 19th century, and that was a study made in Germany, where they're down with scholars. This is no joke now. Scholars, they say, okay, how do we get the lower middle class white fight our war against black people? So why don't we try to empower them so they can fight the battle? We don't have to do anything. This is the talk, talking, the elite. We don't have to do anything. Let this middle class and lower middle class white start, a war with black, upper middle class black. And then from white privilege come racism. And there is no such thing as racism because against who? Like the human race against an alien race? Maybe, I don't know. But that's where the problem is. Now, when we start the division, you ask a question that is very interesting. And then this is where, my theories or my avenue has grown into cultural identity. So what happened in the during the slave trade, that started back not with Europeans, but of course, the slave trade started with Arabs. So there were so many black that was already enslaved in some Arab countries before the white men actually set foot in Africa. And so the whole thing started there. At first, it was exchange, there were, tribal, wars for kingdom wars. What we don't understand here in America, or in the Americas actually, is that the consciousness of black did not start, in the arrival of blacks in 1503 as slaves, because before we were enslaved, we had kingdoms, we have emperors, we have civilization that white people from Greece, from Macedonia, they used to travel to Egypt to study philosophy, geometry, medicine, and everything else. And suddenly, they empower themselves with those knowledge. And you see in the early 14th, 15th century, there was something that was going where Europe started to go deep into Africa, to invade Africa, not for the just natural resources, but for the intellectual resources. We don't know what they took. They're not saying much, but we don't know what they took. But we know they took a lot. Because from being where they were, right before the Moors, in the Iberian Peninsula, occupying, like Andalusia, part of, around Barcelona in those areas, and then get into somewhere into Lisbon in Portugal. So the Iberian Peninsula was controlled by the Moorish, and there was at that time there were no division because when they traveled with Jews because Jews were always known to be good, dealer. They know how to make a deal. Let's sit and make a deal. They know how to sell. And then the Arabs, the Moors, they were black people at the time, had who were Muslim, and they were intellectual. They studied universities, they studied trades, they studied a lot of stuff in Spain, and then from there we were into everything until something happened in the 15th century with Pope, with the Pope in 1450, I think it was Pope Clement, who actually gave Portugal the right to enslave the Congos. And at that time, there was a kingdom, there was the Ghana Empire at that time, and there was the Congos. And Portugal got the right from a Pope in Europe to enslave, to enslave Congolese. And that's where the thing started. In 1503, there was this white man from Spain, he was a priest, and he suggested that, those cool Arawaks, they are dying. So why don't we bring, some, stronger Africans to do their jobs because, they cannot anymore, they're dying. And that was a priest. So the church actually was on top of mentoring, of feeding into slavery. And I don't understand why, up until today, Black people don't realize that slavery was cushioned by the Vatican. And the Vatican is the head of, all religious powers. Guess what? It doesn't matter if you're Muslim or even Jews. So the Vatican controls everything. So, and that's when the trade, the slave trade, started really, really, really with this guy, a priest called Las Casas. And, he suggested that they bring Blacks over there and this and that. So at that time, we had all kind of, Black from Africa coming around the West Coast, especially. And we understand that the slave trade actually happened, in the Dahomey Kingdom, which is known as Benin today. So, but the truth to that, all Africans that came to the Americas and were enslaved in the Americas, they're not all Beninois or from the Dahomey Kingdom itself. They went through. I'm sorry?
Can you repeat that word? You said Beninois?
Beninois, from Benin. The country is called today Benin. Benin is where actually the slave trade was rooted. That's where all the slaves were chained and put in dungeon and kept there, for days, for weeks, for months, until the boat come and then take them to America, to the Americas. So, but there was people were taken from anywhere, not just from Benin. They traveled, they took them from, let's say, from Nigeria. They take them from, from Togo. They take them from there was another kingdom that was down there, south of Benin, Wangolo, Angola, you know. And all these people, they were also nomads from different areas from Eastern Africa, from the Horn area. We are near Somalia, and then all the way up there, we had also, in the inventory, we had, in the slave trade in Haiti, we found that also there were those people. And one of them was the head of the Haitian Revolution, Jacques Dessalines, was said to be, one of these people. He was a fuller, which is in French we say pearl, and they were different people. And it was a very limited or very scarce group of people that were in the country. And Dessalines was actually, Dessalines himself was a slave, and he was a slave of a slave, because Dessalines apparently was a slave of Toussaint Louverture at one time in history.
How was that possible for him to be a slave of a slave?
Well, because Toussaint at that time had already, earned his freedom. So when he earned his freedom, so the person where he was enslaved at the Habitation Breda
Oh,
gave him his freedom, and he now turned like an affranchi, freed slave, get himself some slaves too. you know. So one of the slaves that he got was Jacques Dessalines. A very interesting
hey,
story, but
that's why
it's
reading is
it
cool.
And it's cool to
is
read.
exactly complicated, but at the same time, if we just try to put our emotions aside, we try to understand history and the time of history happened, and without comparing what happened yesterday and today, because it's two different eras, two different mentalities, two different groups of people. Because the Africans that we are today, we call ourselves African American, Haitian American, Jamaican American, Trini American, whatever American, whatever African that we are. But we are part of the African diaspora, and we are all African living abroad. Just like your kid, Betty, born in the US, you're going to say he's American, right? But guess what? You have, is your bandita showing the Haitian flag that is Haitian, but he doesn't know Haiti, doesn't even speak Creole, but yet you're saying he's Haitian, it's okay. But the Haitian, the African was born in Haiti or in Jamaica and Trinidad, he is no longer African. I don't understand how. Why are we no longer African? Because we just changed territory, moving somewhere else, speaking a different language and eating different food and then dressing different. I don't see a European white. He doesn't cease to be European. It doesn't matter how long you live in America and South Africa. He's, as long as you say him, he's European. He may be African now because he's in South Africa. He was born there, or he lives, he's American. But if you look at them, they're Europeans, period, as far as where they came from.
I
Now,
have a
there
question
is
though.
one, yes.
I mean, talking about that, Haitian as a whole, Haitian culture as a whole. So, when we say Haitian culture, what do we see? What some of the aspects of that, and what is it made of? Because when I hear a lot of time Haitian culture is this and is that. So, what is, in your opinion, what is the essential part or aspect or angles of the Haitian culture?
All right. Let me just, I think I have something I wanted to read for you.
Oh,
Just,
put it, put it, put it.
You have to sip too, sip and read,
Yeah, don't
Hervé.
forget. Look,
Don't forget to sip.
I just did. I just did. Hey, hey, hey.
All right, that's a
oh,
Mine
shame.
is not water, okay? Let's see. Huh. Okay, where is it? I have something I put aside for you because I have a lot of reading I thought I was going to do, so I selected a few things that I wanted to.
but he said something that was
Okay,
interesting, like what
like
Haitian.
okay, culture. It's the whole knowledge that one has amassed, one has accumulated over a period of time, and then that the community has actually, evolved and grow up with. Like there is what you call here Black American culture or African American culture. Why is it African American culture? Because between the culture, the American culture, there are subcultures. Now, if you go to New York City and then you take, an American who's actually Italian American, although he's American as American can be as apple pie, but he still preserve his Italian culture. And so that's why they call them Italian American. They are all this community, Irish American, Italian American. French American, Lebanese American, Jews American, whatever, Black American. But there is only one country on the planet. You don't hear they say Tata American. If you're English, you're just American. And these are the American, the WASP. If you're WASP, you're an American. If you're not a WASP, you have an adjective before your name. It doesn't matter if you're Irish, if you're Italian or Jew or whatever, you're going to call you Italian American, except if you're a WASP, you're an American. Okay? So now, that's the culture. They say as American as apple pie. Why is it apple? Why is it American that has so many cultures as a melting pot? And then there is one culture that identify as apple pie. Okay? Now, Haitians have one unique experience. And that's what makes Haitian very different from every Black on the planet. Haitians are just what you call the Homo Haitianus. That's the way we call it. That has the Homo Haitianus, like the Homo sapien, like Homo Haitianus. Now, people don't realize that. Oh, you want to drink to that? All right.
No, she said to grasp that info because I was like, wow, I've never heard of that.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to drink to that. Okay. Now, when we talk about this, it's like to understand who we are today, we must know where we came from and what we were when we were, where we were at a specific time, in history. Now, first of all, Haiti, the land of Haiti, is very special. It has been special for different groups of people. And because before, the Spaniards, before they went to Haiti, they had communities, kingdoms, on the island. They had up to 5 kingdoms on the island. And what, history is telling us today, because every Haitian, every single one, okay, from the highest to the lowest, they believe that all the kingdom in Haiti, all the way to 1492, when Columbus, set foot there, they were all Tainos. There was one people on the island, and that is very true. Wow. Except that is not true. That's what we learn in our history books. But I'm going to tell you something today that probably is going to change your view of everything else. People are talking about Anakauna, the Taino people, and stuff like that. First of all, there was never what you call a Taino civilization in Haiti. That never existed. Never. Those people, they were Arawaks that came from South America, in Venezuela, and then they set foot in Haiti. But before they got there, there were other people living there. There were different groups living there. There were Siboneyes, they were there before the Tainos, Arawak. There were another group that they were very, sophisticated. And they called the Spaniard called them the Guayabo Blancos. It's probably they were dressed. I mean, shirts and stuff like that. They were not like the typical Arawaks, what you call the typical Indians. They were not like that. They were different. So that led for one historian. His name is he's a anthropologist and Greek writer in ancient history. His name is Andrew Collins. He described these people as highly sophisticated in the way they were dressed, in the way they behaved themselves. Compared to the Arawaks, they were hunters, and then they do little stuff, nothing interesting to say that they develop a high level of sophisticated society. They believe in little, they have little things. They left stuff, but nothing spectacular. Okay. Now, these people, they were decimated from 1492 to 1503. From 2 million, apparently, there was about maybe 500 left. Okay, from 1503, we had the first African enslaved in Haiti, all the way to maybe 1690 or 1689, something like that, when there was a deal that the Spaniard made with the French. So for whatever reason, I think they needed something in Europe, and then they made a deal with France. I forgot what it was, but it was the Treaty of Wiswick. I forgot what the trade was. So the Spaniard give them something, and they give the Spaniards something in Europe that the Spaniard needed, and the Spaniard give them, 1/3 of the island they call Hispaniola. The Spaniard call Hispaniola. So the French get 1/3, which is the third that we Haitian have inherited today, and then the other third was left, for the Spaniards. So it was Spanish. So at one time you had, French Hispaniola and Spanish Hispaniola. So now again you have different Haitians. When these people from 1503 until about 1789, the slave trade was at its best. But what happened is, from the beginning, you had African from the West African region, from Benin, from Togo, from Nigeria, around there, mostly that came to Haiti, to Saint Domingue, to Hispaniola. And at the end of the day, after the deal with the French, now you start seeing more Congolese getting to the island. Not really to the island, actually. It was just in the western part of the island. The concentration of enslaved African were. So at that time, you had from all the way to 1789, you had about 60% of the freshly arrived African. They were from the Congos, from the Congolese Empire at that time, because they had the Congo that included, Angola. Okay, so we had these people, and in Haiti, they call them. They have a name for them, and they call them when you just arrive from Africa, you are a Boussal, and then when you live long enough, when you live long enough, you are a Creole. So that created a complexity of, people with different people. So when you have different people, you have a melting pot. So we had maybe 100 different tribes from Africa, that were enslaved in Haiti. And then you had maybe another 20 different European tribes from at that time, there was not a country called France, really. There were different states in the area, like there were the Gaul, there were Normandy, there were all these people, and then Polish people. There are a different group of people again on the island. So all this mixture gives you a specific Haitian today that up until now, we're talking, we don't know who we are.
Wow.
That's why I'm so confused. Now that explains why I'm so confused, Hervé. Thank you for explaining.
So in short, we should put Haitian American, Black American, Afro American. Like, what should we put?
If you're American, you're just an American. You were born here, you're American. That's it. Like when they ask me about what are you, I say, damn it, I'm an American. I'm here. I was born in the Americas. Doesn't matter if I was born in Haiti. I'm an American, anyways. I was in Jamaica. I'm an American. I was born in Venezuela. I'm an American. They split the continent. This is again politics, because they split it. The Americas is only one continent, as far as I'm concerned. When I was a kid, there was 5 continents. When they cut the Panama Canal, now it's become 2 continents. Come on, guys, give you a break. Okay, so these are things that we need to understand, and then try to see the politics of things, the reason that things are being said, and then if you want to understand really white privilege and stuff, there is a gentleman, he's a white man. His name is Tim something. Wiseman. Is it Wiseman? I think the name is Tim Wiseman. He explain what is white privilege. Racism is an utopia. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as races. You imagine you go to, in the farm, and then there are 100 horses, and then they are black, they are white, they are brown, they are mixed, they are this. Or each horses have race. I asked that question once, to a scholar, and then I say, "What is this? Is that a race?" Each horse that I see with a different color, different shape, they are long hair, short hair, long, small, short, or they are different races. No, they're all horses, as far as I'm concerned. And if you breed them, they'll make more horses.
That is so true. Logical too. But Hervé, it was a pleasure really going through this with you. But we do have to kind of wrap it up right now. We have to bring you back because we had some technical problems at the beginning that kind of delay some of the things we had to do tonight. But definitely we have to reschedule a show special to you where we're gonna dive in this culture identity with us so we can know who we are. I don't want to be confused anymore. I want to really have a better idea of who I am, what's going on. And I think the audience also will be so interested. So this book you are
It's very
showing us
interesting.
now.
These are all the books that I had prepared for you.
Okay.
They're all about the same subject, and these are all books that written by me.
All Fast and Fast. I know Fast and Fast was the main one we are
Okay,
showcasing tonight.
and I have in English as well. Okay, so I have from this subject alone, I have so far published 8, 9, 10. I have 10 books on this subject, and I have 8, 7. I have 7 more. No, I have 5 more coming on the same subject
So now where can
about
they find
Haitian
your books?
cultural identity.
Now,
Sorry,
if someone wants to find one of your books, where can they find the books?
I'm the easiest guys to find. You go to Google Hervé Fanini-Lemoine, and then you got my life is there.
So your life is an open book.
You
Your
just go
life
to,
is an
don't
open
even
book.
go to Amazon, Google Hervé Fanini-Lemoine. You're going to see all my lectures, wherever I went, all the things that I've done, all the books I've wrote, and everything is right there. My life is an open book. You can enter my phone number, to tell you what is it.
Got it. So we'll definitely,
Nothing is private.
encourage everyone to go on Amazon or to look Elvie up or call us here at Sip and Read. We can let you have, if you need a copy, specific copy signed by the author, we can help you get that. So contact us if you need a copy of Elvie's book. And you can also contact him. He's everywhere on Google, YouTube, Facebook. You can contact them. It's Hervé Fanini-Lemoine, author and publisher. So thank you so much, Hervé, for your time. We truly appreciate you. We know that from the background you have, it truly show that really reading is cool and
It's cool to read.
absolutely. So
Yes, we need something to do with spirituality. So how we get connected, how we all connected. So we need to do that. That's on the same book,
Yes, sir.
our
absolutely. Well,
spiritual
thank
connection.
you.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so
Thank
much
you. Thank you.
for showing up tonight. We really appreciate the support. We're definitely going to encourage everyone to read your book, to sit and read through your books. They can grab them anywhere on Amazon or here at Sip and Read. Make sure they can sip through some water, some wine, some Bourbon-Coeur. Just need to sip some chocolate, some choco palm, whichever one they want to
Thanks.
use. That's fantastic. But thank you again for a wonderful night. We truly appreciate you and thank you for being our guest tonight on the Sip and Read 7th edition. Thank you so much, Hervé.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Oh my God, that was a show for the books, literally.
Yes.
Not just for the books, for the book.
That was one for the books. Did you see
Yes.
all those books behind him?
Wow, that was
Wow.
impressive. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, look at
I gotta go work on my library now.
that. I mean, no lies, I have mine too. I'm building mine. When I saw him, because we meet on Zoom regularly, and I'm always impressed by the way he's always showing up with the books behind him.
Wow, yeah.
And I have a few myself, so about maybe 13, 14 so far.
No, I know you got more books than that.
But I publish or I wrote, so I want to do a collection. I'm going to follow Hervé, definitely. That's a good model. So thank you.
But that's a good idea for all of us. I mean, why not start and create your own library at your own house? You know, it not only reflects what you know, but you have references all the time that you could pick from and just read over and over and over. The more you read a book, the more you get from it.
It's cool to read.
Yeah. Reading is cool. Oh my gosh. It's just hot in here.
Thank you so much, Joanne, for being a wonderful co-host. It was a pleasure hosting the show with you.
My pleasure as well, definitely.
Yes, and we look forward to having you on the show.
I would love to. I would definitely wear something more appropriate. I was out jogging and I came straight over. I apologize. It's cold in Atlanta today. It's like 20 degrees, so I had to bundle up. But next time, I got you.
Yes, you have to come cool because it's cool to read. And
it's definitely, reading is cool.
Well, thank you so much for watching the show. We appreciate the support, and we will see you next month for a the hottest sip and read, in March for Women's Month. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it. See you next month.
Next month.